Welcome to a new vlog and trip report, and today we're taking the Tram of Szczecin in Poland. And before we are starting, I would like to apologize for my pronunciation of the Polish names. I do not speak Polish, and that's why probably a lot of pronunciations will be very wrong, but I try my best. Here on the map you can see our route today. We are taking multiple lines and different trains today. We are starting in the city center. Here we can see our first tram, which is a Moderus Beta, a new build tram based on the design of a Moderus Alpha, which is a renovation of the Konstal 105. Here we can see the interior. It's a tram with 3 cars and the middle one has a low floor and is accessible. And that was line number 4. And I went to the place Szerokiego, and from there we're going back. Plac Szerokiego is currently the end of the line due to constructions. Now we're heading back to the city center, and I love to take a tram in a city I've never been before. Also, of course, if I have been to parts of the city, it's always interesting to take the tram because you will get to some places that you will usually not see as a tourist. So that's why I really enjoy taking a tram through a city, because you will see some more of the real life in the city, get some real insights in the city, and that's why I decided to take the tram today in Szczecin. We're now getting closer back to the center of the city. Soon we'll be reaching the Plac Grunwaldzki, which is a huge circular square in the city center with a tram stop in the middle of it. Here we can see it, and from here we're going to the next station called Plac Rodla, and this is one of the most important interchanging stations here of the network. So here you have connection to almost all lines of the network. And our line number 4, is also just doing a circle here to Philharmonia and then going back to Plac Rodla. I'm now joining the tram for this circle so that I can see a bit more, and then I'm changing for line number 6 and doing the circle again in the opposite direction. Here we just saw a Pesa swing, another new tram model here in the city, but now we will continue with the old model with the Konstal 105 NG, which is a slightly modernized version of the Konstal 105. A lot of tram lines in Szczecin are not accessible. Still a lot of high floor trams in use in the city, not only in Szczecin but also in other cities in Poland. You will find a lot of high floor trams still in use, which for me is very interesting because you get to travel with a lot of old trains, which is for me a bit more interesting than the new ones. Here we are on that circle close to Philharmonia. Now we're reaching Plac Rodla again. Here I'm leaving and changing for the next train, and here we can see the arrival. First we saw a Tatra T6 A2D, and now we can see my Konstal 105 NG, and here we can also see the interior, which reminds me a lot of the Tatra trams. We're now doing the circle around Philharmonia again, then going past the old town of Szczecin, and then we're going down to the bank of the Oder River, following the Oder River heading north all the way to the end of the line at the station called Gotslav. Here we have the St. Jacob's Church. Now we are also getting close again to the Schrobrego Terrace or Haken Terrace, which I already showed to you in my last video, but we can also see it from the tram window. Here we can see those two buildings, the museum complex and the Woiwodschaft building, two very beautiful buildings, and straight on the other side is my ship, the Princess, which we'll see later on in this video as well. And now we're heading north out of the city center, past the shipyards, in a more industrial area of the city. Also pretty interesting to me, because also here you see a bit more of the real life in the city. And partly here are three different lines, not on the whole length of the line, but at some parts of this tram line that I'm on there are three different lines. And here we have a crossing with a regular railway line, which is also something rare. Of course, this was not a railway line that is used for passenger trains. This was only a connection to one of the shipyards, so it's not a frequently used track. As I said, there are up to 3 different lines on that tram line, but we are now in Gotslav. There's only line number 6, but there's also line number 11 that is going to Ludowa, and line number 5 that is going to Stocnia Szczecińska. But here at the end of the line in Gotslav is only line number 6. Here I had to leave the tram because this tram was going back to the depot, and I had to take the next one, which was also a Konstal 105 NG, which will bring me back into the city center. Here we can see my former tram departing, heading to the depot, and after that we were also leaving, and now we can listen to the sound of this tram once again. Here we are leaving, heading back to the city center, and soon we will be approaching the station Ludowa, where line number 11 has its terminus. Here we can see the shipyards in the background, and now we are approaching the station Ludowa, and we can listen to the sound of this tram once again. Here we can see some of the other trams. These are Tatra trams of the type T6A2D, former trams from Berlin. They still have the yellow livery from Berlin, have been sold to Szczecin a few years ago. And also the Tatra KT4DTM is in use here in Szczecin, and also they have been sold from Berlin. Here in the background we can see the Princess, the ship that I was traveling on, ship that we will continue on in the next video. But I was going past her to go to the Old Town, discover a bit of the Old Town. You already saw that in my last video, but that's why we are now driving past the Princess, and here we are reaching the Old Town of Szczecin, and here I'm leaving the tram, and that's it for this video. Once again, I apologize for the probably bad pronunciations of some names, but I tried my best. Hope you still enjoyed this video. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.